Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
WorldCBSNews.com.
September 22, 8:25 America, New York. 60 Minutes visits Ukraine to track weapons and financial aid the U.S. provided. In a 60 Minutes preview, Holly Williams visits Ukraine to track the weapons and financial aid the U.S. has provided the country.
The Independent.
September 22, 8:24 America, New York. 2 dead and dozens injured after bus carrying high school band crashes on I-84 in New York. Charter bus carrying high school students rolled down an embankment on Interstate 84. Copyright, NBC New York.
RT World News.
September 22, 8:15 America, New York. Top Chinese university scraps English requirements. Media. English fluency is of little practical value for many people, a lawmaker said earlier this year. Xi'an Jiaodong University, one of the top public research universities in China, has confirmed that it has removed a requirement for students to undertake a mandatory college English test, SET, to join or graduate from the institution.
New York Times World News.
September 22, 8:14 America, New York. Australia revisits what worked, and didn't, in the pandemic. An inquiry will try to draw lessons from the government response, but some question whether it will go far enough. Copyright. Matthew Abbott for The New York Times taped off seating in 2021 at Manly Beach in Sydney, Australia.
The Independent.
September 22, 8:14 America, New York. Texas teen sentenced to 40 years after killing a student and injuring another in school shooting. A 16-year-old has been sentenced to 40 years in prison for fatally shooting a student and injuring another at a Dallas area school earlier this year. Copyright, Associated Press.
BBC News World.
September 22, 8:07 America, New York. Rupert Murdoch. How magnate transformed Australia's media. The 92-year-old businessman changed the face of news worldwide, but it all started at home.
New York Times World News.
September 22, 8:07 America, New York. U.S. and China agree to new economic dialogue format. The regular talks are intended to give both countries a venue to resolve differences. Copyright. Pool photo by Mark Schiefelbein. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen in Beijing earlier this year.
Mirror World News.
September 22, 8:04 America, New York. Top Russian nuclear submarine commander assassinated in shock machine gun attack. Captain First Rank Ivan Kovgin, 52, was killed in the disputed territory of Nagorno-Karabakh, where a war is rumbling, in a blow to Putin.
The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
September 22, 8:01 America, New York. U.S. and China launch economic and financial working groups with aim of easing tensions. The U.S. Treasury Department and China's Ministry of Finance launched a pair of economic working groups on Friday in an effort to ease tensions and deepen ties between the nations.
Wall Street Journal World News.
September 22, 8 o'clock America, New York. UAW poised to expand strike to more auto plants. The union would identify the factories Friday morning, barring any last-minute signs of significant movement in labor contract talks with GM, Ford and Stellantis.
RT World News.
September 22, 7:53 America, New York. Hundreds of UK tanks could contain hazardous material, London. Asbestos could be present in almost 2,700 tanks and armoured vehicles owned by the UK military, The Times has reported.
BBC News World.
September 22, 7:50 America, New York. BTS star Suga begins military service in South Korea. The singer is the third member of the band to start compulsory military service this year.
The Independent.
September 22, 7:50 America, New York. Targeted auto strikes may spread to other states and cities as noon deadline set by union nears. It should soon become clear whether the strike by auto workers against Ford, General Motors and Stellantis is going to grow. Copyright 2023 The Associated Press.
PowerPost.
September 22, 7:47 America, New York. FERC approves gas projects despite calls for fossil fuel phase-out. The expansion of 2 liquefied natural gas projects on the Gulf Coast may lock in emissions for decades.
WorldCBSNews.com.
September 22, 7:46 America, New York. Russia says Ukrainian missiles hit key navy base in occupied Crimea. The governor of Russian-occupied Sevastopol warned residents, another attack is possible, after the Crimean HQ of Russia's Black Sea Fleet was hit.